Well, Bitcoin, I got two charts to show you guys. This is, never heard of this indicator, the electric wire indicator. The name is fitting because you got a lot of, seems like electrical currents going through. But you got this ribbon, okay? You have these triple ribbons. This is on the weekly scale. And the last time Bitcoin broke below and then broke above and utilized it as a support was right before the 2021 pump. So, are we getting ready for a huge pump come July? A lot of people have predicted very early on, even back in December and January and February, that around the July timeframe, Bitcoin is going to see some massive movement. Some predicted 40, 50,000. Some predicted higher, mostly because they're comparing it to what happened in 2019. Because after we came off from bottom, we had a huge spike to 14. Then we kind of hovered before we started going up, right? We haven't had that huge spike yet. And we're following that pattern, then yes. But if you look at this indicator and these ribbons, well, it does seem like Bitcoin is about to flip above and move forward. So that does look pretty good. And here's another view. Something else. The MFI price action is copying the one from 2016. Again, another pattern that looks like Bitcoin is about to break into the upside. Now, keep in mind, these graphs are zoomed out, right? You're looking at it per year. Okay, this is going back all the way to 2014. So when it shows that big arrow and it starts going up exponentially like that, it doesn't mean it's going to happen right away. It takes years before you get peak, right? That is leading up to 2025. So 2024 will have a good run. 2025 will have a better run. And that's when Bitcoin gets pushed above 150, 200, 250,000. We don't know where it peaks out at, okay? So keep in mind, this is over years, not like weeks or days. Nevertheless, this is why we're in Bitcoin. You don't want all the Bitcoins to go to guys like Blackrock, okay? They are getting in and they're buying loads of Bitcoin behind the scenes while retail investors are not paying attention, okay? And the reason why is because they know this is coming and they're going to make a boatload of money. And in the meantime, they're going to accumulate. And in the meantime, they may cost some FUD too, so they can accumulate even longer. But we know this is coming. We have the 4-year cycle. Bitcoin has always followed the same pattern, leading up to it and afterwards. Plus, we have much better conditions now than ever before. And if you look at Bitcoin's chart, it's even more crazy than this. But this is just looking at S&P 500. You know, yes, there's dips. Yes, there's like scary times when the whole thing seems like it's going to collapse. But then when you zoom out, you realize, well, you hold on DCA, you know, you're going to get rewarded. And this goes all the way back to 2009 when there was a really, really big crash, right? Coming off of the housing bubble. But since then, it's recovered nicely and just kept going and going and going and going. Even a 2020 crash is barely noticeable, right? So, just goes to show you, you want to have patience, you want to hold and DCA. That's really it. When you zoom out, you realize that is the way. You don't need to do anything fancy. You don't need to do advanced trading. All you have to do is HODL and DCA. That's really it, right? So it's the same thing with Bitcoin. When in doubt, zoom out. If you don't believe what's going on, I mean, this doesn't even go back far enough. But I mean, this goes back to 2015, and let's just keep in mind, 2015 it was $100, okay? $100 to $25,000. Yes, I have a lot of lines drawn over here, but you get the picture. You know, when in doubt, zoom out. There's a lot of big, scary dips, but coming from someone that has lived through all of these, basically, During the times, they always seem very scary, but afterwards, you just forget about it. Like, you know, the news everyone is still talking about is BlackRock. And Charles Hoskinson from Cardano is no fan of it. In fact, he's not just a fan, he's just calling out Bitcoin maxis now. Charles tweeted this last night. Bitcoiners defending BlackRock is all you need to know about their ethics, mental state, and greed. See, that's not really fair. Okay. First of all, there's a lot of Bitcoiners out there. Second of all, there are Bitcoiners out there that hold Cardano too. So I don't know. Charles seemed like he was in a bad spot at the time, but I certainly don't think that all Bitcoiners think this is the greatest thing on earth, right? Now, I did hype it up too. I think if BlackRock gets a Bitcoin spot ETF, it will bring trillions of dollars in from the institutions, right? But I also recognize and said that this is just short term. Long term, of course, no one wants institutions like BlackRock to be controlling Bitcoin, right? But short term, it's going to be a good thing. And as retail investors, what do? I've been telling you guys to DCA and HODL, right? DCA and HODL. You want to get in while things are cheap. That's what these big institutions are doing. They have already started. I mean, you guys know that, yeah, there's a lot of companies that have bought in. I mean, institutions have started buying. If you haven't been paying attention, well, start paying attention because, you know, even MicroStrategy, led by Michael Saylor, has 140,000 Bitcoins. Okay, and just look at this list. And then you look at countries that also have it. And then you look at private companies. And then you look at ETFs or trusts that already have it. So, you know, these institutions have started accumulating already. And there will be more that will be accumulating. And it doesn't show BlackRock in here, okay? We don't know how much BlackRock owns. But just with the 65 entities listed in here, that's already 8% of the overall supply, and we're not even at 21 million Bitcoins yet. So that's how fast things can move. So if BlackRock is filing for a Bitcoin ETF, you know that they have already accumulated a ton and will continue to do so. So that's why as retail investors, you don't want to let these guys take it all. Okay, that's the thing with retail investors. Most people right now on the street, you ask them about Bitcoin, crypto, they have no interest, even though they've probably heard of it, no interest at all. But that's the thing. When Bitcoin goes back up to 60,000, 70,000, then ask them again. The interest is back. Oh, tell me more about Bitcoin. Oh, tell me more about Ethereum and Cardano. You think they're good buys? They'll have interest at 60,000, but not interest at 25,000. See, that's the retail mentality. The herd mentality is you need like some kind of confirmation that the moon is coming.